Welcome back to another BrewSpytheMagicGuy. My name is Sean Abrams, and we're going to be playing a little bit more of that Living End Mausoleum Secrets Electro Dominance Wheel of Fate deck. Science rules. Thanks for hitting that button. Welcome to the BrewSpytheMagicGuy show. Really appreciate that. We're going to jam this deck. How's it going, Mr. Friday Night? Mr. Friday Night himself. Thanks for that follow, Label Kills 1331. If that really is your birth year. No, I'm just messing. But if it is, I'd love to know what was going on back then. So let's see. We're going to do a queue because this is still very much a prototype. I know, we're being wimpy. We also don't have a lot of money on the stream at the moment, so I'm just kind of keeping it low budget. We're doing these little events. So basically, this is using some of the new cards from the new set Friday Night to kind of encapsulate a new type of Living End in theory. This is just a theory deck. I'm not trying to claim that it's good, but it's something I've been working on in secret, and I actually probably keep this hand just because of the Faithless Looting, and it's got half the combo. So the Mausoleum Secrets in this list is really flexible. The way that the deck is designed, it can either get the Living End or it can get the Yahenni's Expertise. There's a couple other little bullets that I've snuck into the main board that it can also go and grab, but by and large, game one, if you're not getting Living End and you're not getting Yahenni's Expertise, you're probably getting the Brutality. Cool, right? Post board, there's all sorts of cool tech you can grab with it. You can go grab like a Surgical or more Brutalities or Artifact Removal. So it does have some flexibility to it, but by and large, what we're getting with this card is usually Living End. Sometimes it's Yahenni's Expertise because you draw the Living End naturally. So it's kind of like we have 7 copies of Living End, which is kind of nice. Other than that, it's a wheel deck. We're just trying to tear through the deck. We don't really care so much, especially if our opponent's on a fair strategy. We don't really care. I'll probably lead on Faithless Looting. We don't really care if they're enjoying the card draw. Okay, well, there you go. So there's a Living End. So let's dump an extra land. And we probably don't need the wheel anymore. We have the combo rolled up. Actually, I probably shouldn't dump that land because we need to make a 4th land drop for the secrets. But we also need to see 4 black creatures first. What's up, Ike? Did I do a good job describing that to you, Mr. Friday Night? Let me drew another wheel anyway. Please let me know. Nivik Sack. Nivik, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. I really, really appreciate that support. Holy crap. 8 months anniversary. That's like a whole relationship right there, you know, with our whole slash and burn American culture, right? That's terrible for me to say. There's a little truth to that, though. That's longer than some relationships, right? But thank you so much for the support, Nivik. I'm actually going to, real quick, sorry to interrupt the game, but whenever we have a sub, remind me if we see Nick tonight, a.k.a. Lol Coron, because I'd like to open a chest for him. Let me go ahead and open this for you. Obviously, it's just kind of an honorable mention kind of thing. We don't actually share with the contents of the chest. But it gives me an excuse to open them because I didn't like opening them otherwise. Ooh, double rare pack, both from 10th edition. All right, so Lord of the Pit, classic Lord of the Pit. Classic. Flying treble 7/7 for 6 mana, triple black. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature other than Lord of the Pit. If you can't, Lord of the Pit deals 7 damage to us. Got to turn on those Got to turn on those Death Shadows somehow. I like the little dwarf, like the little soldier that's like trying to contest with him. And a Goblin King, for those of you who don't know this guy, I do know this one off the top of my head. Well, no, I know Lord of the Pit. I'll admit I don't like have all of his text memorized. All right, Goblin King, red, colorless. Other Goblin creatures get +1/+1 and have Mountain Walk. Useful, probably one of the most relevant lords, just because, well, Merfolk lords, but because plenty of the time Goblin decks are employing some combination of like Blood Moon. Sometimes you'll see Magus of the Moon. So, solid card and some points. Thank you. Thank you dearly. All right, so we're up against Jund. This is not a matchup that they want to be up against, especially if they don't have the ooze. Especially since they don't have the ooze. Since we're a Faithful Saluting deck, that does mean we like to cycle on our own turn. Well, there's our 4th land drop. It's the Simian. We could suspend Wheel of Fate. Jund is the kind of deck that I don't really want to help them wheel. I'd be more content just digging through our deck. In fact, I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I think we flashback the looting here because we have everything that we need. We just need black creatures to go in the yard. Or we can just draw the Yahenni's Expertise. Okay, so now what we're looking for is we're just looking for more dudes. We can dump the Black Cleave. That's an easy decision. And maybe I dump the wheel. We have redundancy in case he thought seizes or inquisitions us. We have redundancy here. So I think I dump Wheel of Fate because I don't really want to cast it in this matchup. And I know it's like, well, BrewSpy, haven't there been several matchups so far that you haven't wanted to cast the Wheel of Fate? Yes, absolutely. But I also think it's kind of cool. Lord of the Pit hype. Lord of the Pit hype. Oh crap, that's a Scavenging Ooze. Well, that's unfortunate. We might just want to Expertise away the ooze now before it gets out of hand. That's unfortunate. Now, Scavenging Ooze is very popular right now because there is a lot of graveyard strategies. Now, we can rebuild. Another thing, we don't have to actually cast the Expertise or cast the Living End off the Expertise. We could just like cast this Simian Spirit Guide. Like, do I really want to put the Architects into play and use up the Living End that's in my hand? That might still be correct because our hand's so bad we might just want to manipulate the top of our deck. We do have another copy, essentially, of Living End in our hand. Oh, what am I doing? I'm just putting the ooze back into play like an idiot. Like an idiot. We were supposed to put the Simian Spirit Guide into play. These are all pretty bad, right? I guess if we don't want to draw any of these, we can use the, well, looting's probably better than a random card, actually. And if we don't want any of it, we can, of course, shuffle. And the Mausoleum Secrets, even though we haven't hit any critters, can still search up another Living End. And maybe that's what I'm supposed to do on the upkeep, or do you guys like drawing the... The problem with taking the Faithful Saluting, even though we do get the flashback factor, is that we know that the first Faithful Saluting doesn't really get us into the cards that we need. So for time's sake, it might actually be correct for me to just go ahead and upkeep Secrets, go grab the Living End, which is probably what we're grabbing anyway. Well, it's the only thing I can grab, actually, at the moment. Lily. Now, it might be incorrect for me to dump the Spirit Guide. We don't know if the opponent has land or drop or not. It might even be correct to discard the Mausoleum Secrets here. Just because we don't know if he has land drop or not. That's fair. And there's another Mausoleum Secrets coming up. And we know we're drawing into looting, so we get to free attack the Liliana here. In fact, what I might do is cast this Simian Spirit Guide. We'll respect the Liliana. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, BrewSpy, couldn't you have cast the looting? I kind of want to... Well, I probably should have cast it anyway, because we knew the next two cards were... Well, no, that's not true. There was a Mausoleum Secrets coming up, so I don't think we want to just dump that. I think we're fine with... Not that we're going to get a flashback looting because of the Scavenging Ooze. No, I didn't suspend a Living End. So opponent cleverly dumps his Bloodbraid Elf that he can't cast yet because he's stuck on 3 lands. Interesting. Looks like he's just trying to grow his Scavenging Ooze here with his own creatures. You crazy, BrewSpy. You crazy. Yeah, so Assassin's Trophy. So what's going to happen here is we're not going to be able to go get what we want to get with the Mausoleum Secrets. Just due to the fact that, I mean, we have a bunch of creatures in the deck. It's a little surprising that this happened. Like, I can't go get in response the what we need. What we really need. And maybe we should be running like a Fatal Push or something. I'm not sure. I might be better off just Faithless Looting. I mean, we could, if we had 2 creatures in the yard here, I could go get the main board Brutality and take out the Ooze. But I think we are just going to lose to the Scavenging Ooze. Which is unfortunate. Like, I'm just curious what our next few draws were going to be. Nah, we were about to hit a bunch of land. That's okay. So, hey, the main board Scavenging Ooze. It'll get you. So how do we want to fight Jund? Gravestones, because he'll have Surgicals. Maybe he's even going to have Leyline. If he has Leyline, not much I can do. Bloodmoon's pretty good against Jund. Green and black is very important for their deck. Slaughter Pact can kill Ooze as well. Again, this is like a top, like they're just trying to grind. I don't think we want Wheel here. This doesn't seem like a Wheel matchup. Carabids are the weakest creatures in our deck. Culligan's Command is grindy. Explosives might be what we want to do. Abrade is good too. Archfiend could get cut. We could even cut the Dragonlord Culligan. What's up, Burning Andrew? We're playing some Living Secrets. And the deck's not for the faint of heart. First of all, it's a prototype. Second of all, yes, there is quite a bit of graveyard, a lot of exiling and a lot of graveyard, even some mainboard graveyard floating around right now. Just due to the fact that on Moto, the Phoenix deck is very, very. It's a good deck too. I'm not trying to knock the deck. I'm just strictly due to the popularity of the deck. There's a lot of players jamming a little bit heavier on their main-boarded graveyard hate, which is gonna hurt when I'm testing out some cool, Mausoleum Secrets, Living End jank. This hand seems fine. We'll keep. Yeah, we got black here, red there. And technically I've got the whole combo rolled up right here. He didn't have ley line, so that's a good sign. Ye old blood moon. Wow, we just draw the living end there? That's sweet. I'm going to not fetch before I cycle because we do want 4th land. There's 4th land. I did add an extra land to the list, so we've got 4 Spirit Guides, and the 18th land has been added to the deck. Even though we got a lot of cycling going on, we do need to go a little bit bigger than your normal living end deck just because we want to be able to cast the expertises. Brutality. Okay. That's fine. We have redundancy. We also are about to just Blood Moon the guy. Out of the game. So that's the thing. He got to Scavenging Ooze us game 1. We get to Blood Moon him game 2. You know. It's all fair. Love and war. And if he's thinking that just surgicaling my it was clutch that we drew the Black Cleave. But yeah, we might just start hard casting duders. Oh, he had the basic forest. Come on. Really? Just have to have the basic forest. Go ahead and play that Scavenging Ooze. Go for it. Play it. I dare you. I can go secrets up a... oh, no, did I cut them? No, that's not true. We could still kill it. I was going to say we could go get the Brutality, but it's sided out. Yeah, there you go. Still scooped them up. I like that sideboard plan. That was good. That felt good. And he very well may have Leyline of Sanctity. I mean, Leyline of the Void. What am I going to do? You know? Excuse me. Not much I can do. I mean, yeah, we're a Simian Spirit Guide deck. Like, why not have some Blood Moons in the sideboard? And the deck I noticed when I was building it was primarily black. It's like the mana base is basically single black, single red to double red. The only doubles are, you know, things like Hardcast Archfiend, which barely comes up, Hardcast Macabre. The Electrodominances and the Expertises come up a little bit more often. Expertise especially, the black on that's pretty significant, just because we've got, like, part of our mana base is a bunch of Simian Spirit Guides, so I try to compensate for that with extra swamps, and then all of our fetches are black fetches. So we haven't run into too much issue of anti-synergy between the sideboard Blood Moons and the Expertises yet. I'm sure that's going to come up at some point. Deck's sweet, Kamikaze. This is like the second version of the prototype, but I'm really liking it. It's definitely the most proactive version of the deck. He kept really quickly, which would make me think he's got a Leyline hand, but maybe not. Okay. Well, we have redundancy. So he's going to take the living end. Yeah, so like the Mausoleum Secrets, he's going to take my living end, but we can go get another living end. Unless he has like surgical, which would be unfortunate. But then again, there's not much I can do about that if he has the surgical. So there's an Electrodominance. Yeah, Street Wraith and Secrets, definitely where you want to be. It's probably just playing Ooze. Oh, Brutality? Okay. So we'll take the Mausoleum Secrets here. Just because Secrets represents another living end. Takes the electric dominance. That's weird. Well, I'm going to fetch as if we're drawing Blood Moon, I guess. I mean, maybe he's waiting for me to cast the Mausoleum Secrets. That's possible. I mean, maybe he really doesn't have a surgical and I'm sitting here playing around a non-existent surgical. So there is the Scavenging Ooze. Okay. So I could Secrets up an answer to the Scavenging Ooze instead of just going and getting my Living End. Because since he took the Electro Dominance, we don't actually have the ability to do it yet. We don't have enough mana. Unless I drew like exactly Simian Spirit Guide. So I do kind of like the idea of grabbing a way to remove the... And again, it can't be Colligan's Command, unfortunately, because we didn't have a third creature yet. But I think that's a small price to pay to not to lose to the Scavenging Ooze. So there's a dominance. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, Franbach. I was working on it kind of in secret. I also borrowed a little bit of technology from my stream teammate, Evan, if you guys know Everos. That's unfortunate. God, this guy's like mono Scavenging Oozes. So again, I'm like, I need basically exactly, so we'll pay for this. That's unfortunate that he had a double Scavenging Ooze draw. That's fine though. And that's another reason why I think I'm fine playing this deck like in just the onesies room, just for funsies room. Just due to what you see going on here. And even if we Living End, we're returning a Scavenging Ooze to the opponent. We didn't draw. Well, actually, I don't know if we had room for Graveyard Hate, right? This might just be a tough matchup, right? We lost game 1 to a Scavenging Ooze, and we did take game 2. We had a nice quick Blood Moon, but looks like we're probably losing this third game. Right, because I can get rid of the Scavenging Ooze that's in play, but then we're looking at another Scavenging Ooze. I mean, literally what this Yeheni's Expertise does is it just replaces that ooze with the other ooze. That's like how bad off we are. It's technically a smaller clock. I don't think we're winning this one, but that's okay. Well, no, I saw him playing it, and I was like, well, I guess I should show everybody the version I was working on, because I saw him playing it. So we're basically trading one evil for another. I guess I could dominance away this other ooze. Whew. This guy's got a lot of creatures that really screw us up. I don't even think I want to fetch. Okay, well, it's not all gloom and doom. We can, well, now we draw the Silent Gravestone. That would have been amazing earlier. So, if we take out the Calidus, unfortunately I can't Expertise into the Dominance to kill both. I could Dominance, if we had more mana, we could Dominance into the Expertise, into the Gravestone. Can't quite do that. I'm 1 mana short. But we can kill the Calidus? No, we can't even kill the Calidus, can we? That would take 6, wouldn't it? Well, Gravestone at least makes it so, well, we're just dead to the Raging Ravine. I guess what I should do then is Dominance, the Scavenging Ooze. Is that the best I can do? Yeah, that's game, unfortunately. Actually, we're just dead here. This is lethal. But the Gravestone would have been sweet. Gravestone would have stopped all the shenanigans he had with the Scavenging Ooze. Gravestone stops actually quite a bit of the graveyard hate people are going to use on us. Not just Scavenging Ooze, it's also going to stop your Surgicals, which are quite popular right now. Yeah, I thought the Gravestone would be spicy. Kind of an interesting way to try to protect our graveyard. Opponent sees the line. Actually decides not to kill us. Raging Ravine was guaranteed killed. He decided to roll the dice, got lucky, and got a bolt. Good games. But he had a definite kill with a Raging Ravine. That was exactly 7. Alright, anyway. We now don't have enough points or chests to play another... Did you guys go ahead and vote? I did want to play this deck a little bit more, but as you can see, out of tickets for the moment, and I have some play points. But did you guys vote for what we're doing after? Let me check the results. Because it's already 8:30. Somebody wants to see Pauper Inside Out combo. We also could play Esper Shadow, even if it's just in the practice room. I need to get more reps in with that deck before the event this coming weekend. Which I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to the Star City event coming up in Baltimore next weekend. This coming weekend. I'm looking forward to that. So I gave you guys a few different choices. One was Pauper, one was Modern, one was Standard. You're the only vote. So we got some Pauper Inside Out combo. We got some more Modern, please. I mean, I'd like to keep playing the Living Secrets deck. If Lil Corn was here, we could open another chest and maybe it'd have some points in it. Ooh, we're missing art, though. That bothers me. I'm testing a couple new cards in the Esper Shadow deck, by the way. So why would you ever play... I get this question a lot. I'll just go ahead and answer it. Why would you ever play not Grixis Shadow? I do own the cards and pieces necessary to play Grixis. I just happen to like some of what Esper can do. Not saying that it does it better, per se. Kind of curves like this. You'll never turn 1 these, and Snapcaster wants to be a turn 3 play. So more or less, Esper Shadow kind of curves like this. What are the benefits of white besides the obvious, like Path, Lingering Souls, Orzhov Charm, cool bullets like Unmaking? It's actually kind of cool in Shadow because you get to lose the life points and remove something, which is kind of nice. Think of it like Giant Growth plus Vindicate rolled into 1 card. Zealous Persecution out of the board. I do like that card a lot. Not saying it's a reason to be white. The reasons to be white are things like Stony, Lingering Souls, Orzhov Charm, and Path. Those are like the big... These are the big reasons to have a light white splash. Primarily, it's still black-blue deck. Obviously, you see double Water Grave for that reason. I'm testing out an Unmoored Ego as a Mausoleum Secrets tutor. I know, I'm really on the Mausoleum Secrets train. I am. There he is. All right, let me open a chest. I meant to open a chest for your resub the other day, Nick, and I forgot. Oh, well, I guess we're playing more of the Living End deck. We just opened 45 play points. That's 2 more rounds we can fail. And a Thada Adele. Interesting merfolk right here. 2/2. Blue colorless. Island Walk. Whenever Thada Adele... wow. Acquisitor. Okay. Deals combat damage to a player. Search that player's library for an artifact card and exile it. Then that player shuffles their library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Awesome. Alright, we'll play some more. How necessary is the pact? I like Mausoleum Secrets to always have a tutor target. So, like, what that enables is even if your opponent, like worst case scenario, let's say they even in the living secrets deck. Thanks for the points, Nick. I appreciate you. Appreciate the resub. So let's say opponent ley lines us, right? Graveyard's completely shut off. So what does that mean? That doesn't just mean that some of our graveyard synergies in either of these decks are turned off. I actually really like having Slaughter Pact anytime I'm playing a Mausoleum Secrets deck. A lot of that just has to do with the fact that it guarantees that against creature decks, you always have something you can go and get. It's one of the weaker things that I would get in the dark. Obviously, though, we just played a game where we did go get it. But in the dark, it's on the weaker side as far as things to go grab. And of the two decks, obviously, I'm pretty sure that this is the stronger of the two. It's just at the moment we're testing that new concept. So this hand has half the combo rolled up. Let's keep a way to cheat the spells. And we might see Wheel before we see a Living End. Does that make sense, though, DRMC? I know it seems like justification, and it may very well be. I'm one of the only ones that have really looked at... You know, we've only streamed this a couple times, so you guys have really only feasted your eyes on it for a little while. I don't really want to take a ton of damage on this Faithful Suiting. We have plays to be making. Yeah, like we have a lot of plays to make even before we looting. Like I could go swamp, cycle. Next turn, go get a shock land. We could even just go get the Faithful Suiting now. No rush. There's the expertise. Okay. So we just need a tutor or we need a spell to cheat. A cheaty face spell. You know what, since we have everything we need, why don't we just make it so that we can get the Faithful Suiting going? And again, maybe I should just be shocking there and not worry about... Oh, or we just draw the Living End, like a boss. Why couldn't we have this draw against our Jund opponent a moment ago? Like, this could have feasibly, been a draw that we have. No question, this could have been a draw. So let's go ahead and looting. So drew Fate. I think I want Fate. Well, let's be a little greedy. This has been a really good draw. I really like the idea of Slaughter Pact when it's explained like that. Feels more like a main deckable card even. Maybe. What do you got for me, sir? Ooh, spicy. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm just sweeping the board next turn. Right, we've got Street Wraith, Horror. I was hoping to get like one more creature into the yard. It doesn't look like that happened. Now we could Yeheni's Expertise, which is a little bit awkward. We'd actually... And that's kind of the awkward thing with the card, don't get me wrong. I'm fully aware of that anti-synergy factor. We might want to start main boarding some of the graveyard exiling effects, like the Fairy Macabres could be main decked. Just because I wanted a black enabler through the secrets. I wanted the ability to go get an enabler for the Living Ends, but there's some anti-synergy. I have considered main decking some number of Macabres for board states just like this. The only reason I question it is why is it feeling like a sideboard slot? Because main deck, there's rarely going to be pure. Rarely you're going to see like full-blown graveyard hate, like where it just annihilates your graveyard. So if it's just there as a placeholder, like as a default card to grab, I mean, there's like spots where it is good, like you do want it, but so yeah, this is a spot where we don't really want to expertise into the. We can use the expertise to cast the Wheel of Fate at some point. But I think I'm just supposed to go Black Cleave, and I don't think we want to let him untap with all this mana. I don't think we even want to let him untap with Knight. Like, what's kind of nice is we even get to Fate Seal the opponent. Our hand's good enough that I would just consider doing that. I think we do it now. I don't want him to get to activate Knight. So we'll actually Fate Seal, or not Fate Seal, but we'll organize the top of his library. I like our hands enough that I don't really care. Ooh. That's awkward. It's a bit of a combo, isn't it? So I guess we... Wow, that's scary. I wish I'd known he was just trying to Siege Rhino us. Let's go top, top, top. It's a pretty good 3 cards for the opponent. So he's just playing like an Abzan, grindy Abzan thing. Alright, what matchup doesn't answer? The deck would have a bad matchup. I don't mean to pry. Rhino Tribal. So where is it actually useful? Infect. It would be the big one. There are a couple other matchups where it might be useful. But basically, like I said, it's there because I played too many games where the tutor turns into a dead card. And that just feels bad, man. Like, feels really bad, man. When you know his hand is good, it's tempting to... It's tempting to... I mean, Wheel of Fating here isn't useful. Expertising into the wheel just gives him back the Knight. Useful against people. Yeah, people just... Yeah, I know, right, Kiki? Could be a thing. Well, there you go. That's good. If we have to, which we may have to do it a second time. Let's dump the land. No, you dump the Spirit Guide and the... I guess Horror. Like, we like our hand where it is, don't we? Unless we don't want the Wheel of Fate. Again, like the late game wheel usually feels bad, man. Might be wrong to use it at this point in the game. If anything, we're just helping him draw the land that we never want him to draw. I think I'll go ahead and make that decision. Also, I kind of wish that I'd done this pre-combat. Just because it would have been extra damage on the Horror. That's okay. I mean, if anything, we could flash back the looting. Which I think is a good use of our mana. Alright, another Secrets. Our wheeling puts Rhinos in the grave. Yeah. Kind of awkward. I know, if I'd done all that pre-combat, that would have forced a chump block. I'm such an idiot. Horror is very strong once it's in play with the deck. I really should have thought about looting and then flashing back looting pre-combat. Assault Formation. The spell sky's a lot better now. That's cool. Alright. I think the Dragonlord Culligan should sure this up. I have a feeling that it's going to sure this up. Yeah, this guy's strong once he's in play, for sure. Mainboard spell escape makes more sense. Yeah, the assault formation. So we lose the Street Wraith, but it's okay. But him losing the Noble Hierarch is pretty huge. Like now, sure, he could block the Architects. I might not even swing with the Architects. I might just swing with the Horror. Might just be correct to swing Horror. But something else to think about is he's just dead here. So why beat around the bush? Why play with our food when we could Dragon Lord, right? So Yehennies kills the Architect, which we actually want to have happen. Because then we get the trigger again. Use it on him just to get more information, I suppose. What else he's up to. This was technology from Evan's list, the Dragon Lord Culligan. I think that's really sweet. Not only is it in our colors and castable, and holy guacamole, Batman. Tristani. That's sweet. Hiya. Hi-ho, Silver! Away! These big butts value. How do we board against big butts value? Alright, first of all, opponent might be bringing in Graveyard Hate, and the type of Graveyard Hate he's going to have, even though he's a Knight of the Reliquary deck, like what kind of Graveyard Hate do we anticipate? Doesn't seem like a Blood Moon match. Even though he's 3 colors, he has birds and nobles. I don't think Blood Moon's worth. Explosives might be fine. Pyroclasm. Braid, Culligan's Command. These are things to think about. The Brutality can go. I don't mind like one in the main board though, because it is a tutor. It's another tutor target. We are weak a little bit to Storm and etc. It also is a way to dump like the Dragon Lord. Archfiend only kills the weenies in this matchup. I don't think we want Archfiend. Usually I'll cut Carabids because they're just a little bit vanilla. I think the wheels maybe are weak here. Hard to say. Okay, well I think we do want the Slaughter Pact, right? Well, maybe not. It doesn't kill Rhino. I mean, yes, I like to have something that the secrets can always get, but that doesn't mean it's always correct to bring this in. It's not that simple. So maybe we'll hold off on that. Scoo seems not unlikely. Alright, so Scavenging Ooze. Okay, well then a Braid. Explosives. Explosives, like this is like a good general catch-all to bring in. There's a lot of different types of Graveyard Hate that this kills. Even on just X's 1 or 2. We can hit. Rarely we can hit higher on the explosives if we have the nutty Gemstone Caverns draw. I think Explosives is such a powerful card, even if you only have 2 colors to your deck. Why don't you play Gravestone? You want me to play Gravestones? 2 cuts then, if we're going to do that. A Braid, Explosives, Pyroclasm. We can cut the Dragon Lord. It's a little bit overkill against our opponent's deck. It's not like he's combo and we have to like consider racing. This is about to get grindier. I don't like cutting any mana sources though because our mana is greedy as it is. Let's cut a wheel. I don't think it's amazing in the matchup. Yeah, I think the Pyroclasm is a good call. It does get his build around card, Brandio. You are correct. Oh, this hand is Nutter Butters, right? This hand is pretty ridiculous. It's got an Enabler. It's got a Living End. We didn't even have to tutor for either piece. We just had it. Which again is a reason to have the density that we do, like triple Living End. And then, of course, that's the easiest thing to get with the Mausoleum Secrets. Like you guys, you have to think of Mausoleum Secrets as just extra copies of Living End. You know, sure, it's a little bit more expensive. Like, okay, all right, you're paying 2 mana for your Living End, right? Or 2 extra mana for your Living End, but it's got that flexibility going for it. So, I think that's pretty special. I think we just lead on Gravestone, make sure that there's no surgicals or anything. I like this card a lot in the sideboard. I wasn't sure about it originally, but I think after playing with it a little bit, it protecting us from, you know, Scavenging Ooze here is kind of sweet. This guy loves Spell Sky. He's into this card. He's into it. It's like now our graveyard's safe. Like you'd have to have like something pretty significant. So I think this is actually really cool technology. If I dare say so. We're actually going to go Swamp because we have Horror and Architects to cycle. Actually, let's cycle now because we might hit a Faithless Looting. We did not hit a Faithless Looting. I mean, would I even use the Simian Spirit Guide? I guess I would to cast a Looting. So we'll keep going. And we got a backup copy. Like, why couldn't we have drawn this well when we were playing against Jund, and now we're playing against, you know, another jank deck like ours, and it looks like we're playing so amazingly. All right, he's gonna hit us for 7. That's the thing. But like, it doesn't even matter. Next turn, I mean, we technically could have Living Ended last turn, but I felt that was greedy to do. And we just kick it back. What's nice about this also is if somebody does leyline us, it does have alternative text. We can just cycle it. That's a lot of mana though to cycle this. It's not like Relic of Progenitus. Like no, clear. Most of the time this is staying in play. All right, so I think I do just take 7 again, right? Nah, we don't just take 7 again. We dominance. We dominance. Dominance, zap him for 1. I know he might be following up with a Siege Rhino, but I don't think I'm supposed to take 7. Yeah, exactly. I think we're fine with this. We're going to get an Architect's trigger. We have a fetch land, so we can kind of maximize that on our side. We really should use it more so on ourselves than the opponent. That's not always true, especially if we have multiple. I mean, anytime we have 2 Architects of Will, obviously we want to spread the love and we want to use it. We want to use it on our opponents in some cases, but I think here it's correct to use it on us. So we got another Dominance coming up. I mean, technically, we have a Yahenni's into Dominance, but I think I'm supposed to take Dominance. Let's go top, top, top. I think we take Dominance. Like, we have a wheel. And it was a Siege Rhino. Who would have guessed? So the Street Wraith has cycling here. Horror can contend with the Siege Rhino. Like, hilariously, we have a huge Horror of the Broken. It's actually, how big is it? It would be, if we were to, like, we can force the Siege Rhino to block potentially, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, 3 damage he can't block. And then we can force him to block with the Siege Rhino if we Wheel of Fate. So it's going to get +6 here, right? If we dump this, this guy gets +6. I wish we had a way to make this, like, not... That's what we do, right? This is like living the dream with Horror. We wheel. Do it after blocks. Am I not supposed to swing the Architects? I'm at 8. He animates this, we die. Technically, Street Wraith's the better blocker for the World Wildwood. No block. Okay. Do I want the ability to cycle more things? Yes, I do. Don't I? Yes, we want to leave our mana open. I don't think I'm supposed to sap him for 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, 14. But we might have more things to cycle. I think we're supposed to leave. And all of my cyclers are black. It might even be correct to cast the dominance off of the Spirit Guide just so we have more black mana to cycle more things. This gets interesting. Am I supposed to do that? And then we get to cycle more things. This is getting interesting. This is some interesting magic right here. So we wheel, we get some triggers. We get the cycle. Cycle. Put him to 3. Gonna braid something. I mean, that's fantastic, right? I mean, but post-wheel cycling, discarding Spirit Guide, both would be 2 damage. I know, but that was like for style points, right? Hey, how's it going, Jade? What's up? And we gotta show them the Rixmati. You gotta show them the Rixmati. Yes, this is a Magic the Gathering card. Yes, I put it in my deck. Courser of Crewfix. Stop it. It's got Tristani. I like my opponent's devotion to the archetype, though. He's got like Quarter Calling in there too. Like hats off to you, opponent. There's some pretty cool stuff going on over there. And a Spellskite. We don't know how he's gonna attack, right? I mean, if I do something bad like a Braid the Siege Rhino, he's not gonna attack with it anyway. He's at 4, so. And we can force him to, if he does attack, we can force him to redirect. Like we block and redirect. I think I do want to block anyway, right? Well, hang on a second. He's at 4. He can't block the Street Wraith. Yeah, so take it. It's that simple. Sometimes, chat, it's simple. Don't block, kill, Spellskite game. Yeah. I saw it, Sasquatch. It took me a moment. Just a moment. And then we turned our 60 play points into 70 play points. We're almost able to pay for a friendly league. That was sweet. That was sweet. Let me see what you guys voted for. It is almost 9. So I kind of... we'll play more of this deck in the weeks to come. I think there is something here. We just need to maximize the build. Let's play a little bit of something else. It looks like Pauper won. If you didn't get a chance to vote, though, I'm going to give you one more chance to vote in the straw poll. If you want to decide what we do next, your choices are Pauper. We have an inside-out combo deck to play still. Or we could play the other modern deck that I prepared for you guys, which is an Esper Shadow. It's also a Mausoleum Secrets deck. I think that card's bonkers, and I'm trying to break it. It is a 2-mana tutor in modern. And like people aren't trying to break it. Anyway, I like it here. I think it's actually happier in this deck, the Mausoleum Secrets are, because it has real relevant text. It's the extra copies of Living End, and it's also an enabler. It goes and fetches the enabler when you're ready for the enabler. And sure, maybe it's correct even still to run the fourth Living End and to do something like a split like that, and then instead of running some of the cuteness, then run Mausoleum Secrets. Let me open a new copy. That's something else I'm thinking about, is just maximizing the amount. The problem is Yahenni's expertise isn't always what we want to be doing. Yes. Okay. Yahenni's expertise is not always what we want to be doing. Case end point. So, I mean, I'm not trying to claim that we've figured out card for card where everything is supposed to be put together. I like having the Archfiend of Ifnir because Lingering Souls would be quite annoying for this deck. But maybe that's presumptuous. But yeah, so like tonight, like we ran into a couple of board states where the Yahenni's expertise was a little bit awkward because it did kill our opponent's creatures, then reanimated them, and it's like, oh well, what's the point? You know, you're not really changing the board state in a favorable way. So that's kind of one anti-synergy I see. However, it is the only black enabler that we could find off of Secrets. So, now, granted, another thing that we could do is we could be playing Karizev's expertise, right? We could be playing the red expertise as a playset. Like, I do see other builds of this concept. And just run the playsets of both of the red expertises just because they're mana efficient. And then in a pinch, we have access to Yahenni's expertise when all else fails. Now, granted, the problem with Karizev's is there needs to be a creature. Granted, it's modern. There's plenty of creatures. Worst case scenario, if we're up against like a control deck, we can start casting like some spirit guides. So this is a thought. In a lot of ways, it's better than the expertise. We haven't really needed the Archfiend. There have been a few board states where the Dragon Lord Kolaghan allowing us to race was significant. But honestly, I think moving forward, those are the sorts of things that we would start to cut. And then the Yahenni's expertise would just be a fun of just in a pinch, if we needed to get that piece of the combo, we'd have the ability to do so. And then I actually think I'd like to flip it. I'd rather us be on the place at a Living End and then 3 Secrets. I think the playset of Secrets is a little bit awkward. Even when it's kind of like such a universal tutor. Honestly, I think blue-red Living End has the most potential. But dude, you're avoiding Living End's traditional restriction. Deck is dope. And Branio's not wrong. Yes, a blue-red Living End is cool. But it doesn't have as many copies of Living End. They do, right? They have Talaria West, right? So yes, that's true. They have the ability to get Living Ends as well through their mana base. That's not me saying that this is strictly better. And maybe it's still correct to do that, like 3 Karizev's expertises and still run 3 Mausoleum Secrets. Because that would be essentially 7 copies, you know, quotation marks there. Essentially 7 copies of the Living End if we were to switch one of the secrets into that. And then, so we'll just move this over. And then that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, like a lot more enablers, right? A lot more. Do we want access to the full 8 copies of Living End? Maybe. That would be play sets of both Secrets and Living End. Just ensure that no question, we always have it. Deck always has it. Opponents are going to be like, wow, he always had it. No, that's because that version of the build would always have it. Like, it's you know, in this color combination, probably the most copies of Living End we could have access to without going into, like, clunkier tutors, more expensive tutors. What's up, Bucking Broncos? It's also not hyper all-in like the Cascade versions. Well, yeah, we get to play, like, real cards. And I think... kidding. But no, I think we should leverage that. I think we should be leveraging some of the other cards in the deck. Like, maybe I should be playing Lightning Axes. Because Lightning Axe, of course, still dumps a creature for us and also kills something bigger. we do get to play, main board brutalities if we want to. And again, maybe this is still too many of this effect. Again, maybe because you have to count the Mausoleum Secrets and the Henny's Expertise. In a pinch, it'll work. So maybe I don't want that many Karizev's Expertises. I do like the main board brutality still. I might even like 2. I mean, the card shores up a lot of our bad matchups. There's a lot of decks that we are quite good against naturally, and then the stuff that I notice that we're bad against, brutality shores up that weakness. And so maybe we just want to test like 1 expertise, get an extra copy of Living End, move one of the brutalities to the main board because it's been saving us against a lot of the decks that just beat us. But again, I still feel like even before I want the first Karizev's Expertise, I still kind of want the second Yahenni's, but maybe this is correct. That's why you like the dragon? What, the Dragon Lord? Well, everybody's going to like the Dragon Lord. It's a big old dragon. I mean, I do like that it gives us haste. That has been relevant several games. It's not always relevant, though, that they have haste, especially since through dominance we can end step it, and it's like they have, pseudo haste anyway. I think the Rixmati can go if I'm going to cut some of the cards that need to be naturally discarded. And we can run like a better land. We could run like the 4th Black Cleave. We could run another Black Fetch just to make sure that we always have, just so that we play with our Blood Moon, nicely with our Blood Moon. We can even add the 3rd Blood Moon. Like the Blood Moon's been really good. That's nothing new, like traditional Living End, well, they wouldn't run this because they were 3-color, but we could leverage that strength, right? We're giving up a 3rd color splash because of Blood Moon's sideboard plan. So until we think of like a juicier sideboard card, I think the 3rd Blood Moon might make sense. Oh yeah, I just don't think the Dragon Lord was necessary, and I think we're still bare bones on the number of critters, right? What is it? Carabid, Architects, Street Raids. And again, maybe we should be more in favor of Monstrous Carabid. I do like the effect that Architects of Will gives us, but in Modern there is a big difference between a 3 toughness creature and a 4 toughness creature. So we might, as much as I love the trigger on Architects, I think this is way more relevant than a lot of Living End players or just players in general give it. The manipulation that this offers, the ability to stack our opponent's deck as well. I like that effect. However, 4/4, right? So I like Blood Moon Spirit Guide. Oh yeah, we might want to do that for a little bit. I definitely want some number of Architects. And although although the Dragon Lord Kolaghan was awkward, I do kind of miss even the first Archfiend. You'd be surprised how many decks it's really sweet to have that. And it's not an unreasonable tutor target in this deck, thanks to the sheer number of black creatures in the deck, right? The only creatures in the deck that aren't black are going to be the Simian Spirit Guides. Because all the creatures are black, right? All 15 of them. It still seems really low. I've felt that way for a while now. Let's do this. Let's keep it that way. But anyway, really think it should be more like 16 creatures, to be perfectly honest. Ingot Sure honestly might be better than a Braid in your sideboard. That's fair. Just because it's a Deuter in the graveyard. I do like that a Braid has more flexibility than Sure, but I hear you. I do like the flexibility that it offers. But something like this might be worth... And again, like we're kind of getting to the point that excites me where we're making small tweaks, right? Like we're keeping the Yahenni's because it is a tutorable enabler. It's not the way that we would want to Living End. We'd much rather do it through one of these. They're cheaper. But in a pinch, if that's the only way that we can do the combo, we can go grab it. So I think that's significant. Looting is just really good when you've got Wheel of Fate. And I don't like just having this many cards devoted to specifically the living end. I know it's our builder, I know it's important, but it's kind of nice to have some other cards that are like, oops. Dump everything that I was going to cycle anyways, draw a bunch of cards for, something efficient like 2 mana. Draw into the living end combo. Sure, there's some matchups like Burn's an example where we're going to have to lean heavily on these brutalities and they're going to enjoy the Wheel of Fate effect. But anyway, let's play what you guys voted for real quick. Okay, Pauper has tremendously... Alright, so we were in the middle of a Pauper League. We were 0-1. We lost to Blue-Red Delver. That deck's very good in the format. It does have a couple matchups that it's not good at, but it's the numbers don't lie. It is pervasive on Moto, and it is good. It does take some time to get a match of Pauper on here, so what I can do is while we're waiting for that to boot up and us to find an opponent, unless my Moto is crashing. Very possible that my Magic Online is just crashing. I'm trying to give it a moment to think. It's trying to load the Pauper League on the other. Okay, cool. Sometimes you just gotta be patient with it. So I'll show you the deck. I'll cue us, and then maybe we'll go back to, oh man, we're like missing all the art. That's tilting. I really don't like to stream when we're missing a lot of card art. Is it just the inside out? Okay. We're missing like 3, 4 card arts. 5, 6, 7, 8, all of them. Whatever. That's what you guys voted for. We'll play it. That just stinks that that happens. Sometimes when you're playing on Magic Online, you get a little bit of memory leak. It doesn't load all the art for whatever reason. But on a positive note, and I'll put the deck list in the Stream Decker. Least I can do. Alright. Slight Tangent gets cards like Scooz. What about Lava Coil? You probably just want to have like a Terminate. Because it's tutorable. Or like even a Fatal Push. Like there were some games where if we had just had a Fatal Push, we would have been fine. So, I mean, if you want to use up... Oh man, we don't have an art for this. If you want to use up some of your sideboard slots on cards like Terminate and Fatal Push, I don't think that's wrong per se, right? And then maybe you squeeze the Macabres into the main board. Like maybe we cut 2 Carabids and we play them, like squeeze the Fairy Macabres into the main board, which there were a few games where that would have been nice. And then all of a sudden now you have room for the push and the Terminate. Bring those in against decks where we do have to have a little bit more removal post board. And that might be correct. To have access to like push or something like a Terminate. I think the Terminate might be overkill because we already have a Slaughter Pact though. I think that might be overkill. I think between Slaughter Pact and Fatal Push we're good. And like the explosives. So maybe move one of these back into the sideboard. Maybe the Brutality should always be sideboard. I mean, maybe it's important to have Macabre as a tutor target game 1. I'm not quite sure. And then we could cut like a Carabid. It's another creature. Maybe we try a 3-2 split. Let's join that match because it does take some time to get games of Pauper sometimes on here. But it's nice having you guys here and we were kind of brewing together. You know, sometimes I'll obviously brew on my lonesome or by my lonesome. So this is a bad hand. Wow. I don't really want to mulligan to lower than that. Yeah, sorry that we're missing some card art here, but Ash Barrens, this is the Land Cycler. Oh man, Mirror Match? Except our opponent has a good hand. Could just be Delver again. Not that that would make me salty per se. We did just play against it, but Actually, I know this guy. Minya friend. Might have even been who we played last time, actually. No, Nisk. I just recognized the username. Fairy Macabre could be main deck. Yeah, I think the Exile's worth it, especially since we have the Ahennies as a main board tutor target when we can't find one of the red enablers for the Living End, which will happen, right? Even though we're tearing through the deck, there's only 5 of, right? Other than that, we're relying on this 5. So I like that this is a big section. You know, you look at even like traditional Living End, what was it they had? Granted, they're happy to see this as an enabler too. We don't have a brainstorm, so we might as well just cycle this for White Source. We are not having a good day. We'll just play it because it's the land I revealed. Sand is really bad. Alright, so it's Blue-Black Delver. Also known as just Blue-Black Delve, a lot of players will call it. Looks to be Blue-Black Delve. Alright, Tireless Tribe. Well, this hand just got a lot stronger. Because Tireless Tribe plus Circular is pretty nutter butters. It's pretty nuts. Now the foils that we're testing, it's just a 2 of. They really do need Gush to work. We also were on the mulligan, so like this card's gonna, much like how Forcible is gonna feel really bad when you're on a mulligan, like foil feels very bad on the mulligan. Brainstorm. Alright, could get your house on a ponder. We will bottom, top. Ponder. Days. Ponder. Do we want the days? We have a foil. Days has a little bit of synergy with foil. Just because it puts the island back into our hand. I just think it's too late game for the days. I think it's too late. Technically, we could try to bait him into... Maybe it's fine. Like, maybe he goes for the Echoing Decay here, right? He also might just be casting a Mole Drifter next turn, hardcast style, and then I'll be really sad I didn't keep the days. For those of you that don't play a lot of Pauper, I'm sure you're a little confused about my hand. So, the combo with Tireless Tribe is when you discard a card, it gets +4 toughness. Inside Out says switch target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. So what that does is, as you're kind of comboing off and you gush a few times, gush is draw 2, put 2. Sorry, gush is has an alternative cost of you can return 2 islands to your hand to draw 2 cards. So you kind of go off, so to speak, putting those islands back in your hand, and then you discard all those lands and the extra cards that you didn't need to kill them with to the Tireless Tribe until it's 20 damage. You swing through, they die. Just kind of neat. We don't want to play this last island. We all must leverage Gush. For sure. Speaking of Gush, the problem is as much as I want the gush, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that the rest of the draw, just Plains Island, is worth it. So this is where we would chip. We can get a better draw than that. And we do have a circular logic that is very, very much online. It's a circular logic for 5. And of course, Tireless Tribe has a lot of great synergy with circular logic. Since this is just a plain discard outlet, speaking of gush, there's his. This plus circular logic is single blue, counter most things, which is kind of cool. Gush is pretty broken. Gush is pretty good. Gush is like a thing in Vintage for sure. Card is pretty good. I think this is the deck that utilizes Gush in the most broken way when you think about it, in Pauper anyway. Yeah, Gush. Yeah, exactly. Card is pretty busted. Another circular logic. Well, we got a little bit of time. He's only got one black source. Something else to think about. I think I'm just going to hardcast this Daze. Well, the Daze did do something, surprisingly, right? Didn't consider attacking. Inside out the 1/3. Ditch a card. Happy Tribe be a 1/5. Don't really want you drawing 2 cards. But maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to fight over. Very, very much might be wrong on my part, gentlemen, ladies and gents. Double D's. Okay. Those dazes would actually hurt us pretty bad if we were trying to go off. So I think I'm okay with it. What's up, Orphan Chocolate? Again, we still need like we have most of our combo. We just need yeah, it has been a little bit. How you doing? We just need the ability to swing through the Augur of Bolas. And with him at 16, we don't even have to pitch that many cards. That would be one less card we have to discard to the Tireless Tribe. We only have to get him to 16 power or more. So that's probably, yeah, that's one less card because he'll start at 1 power. So that's us pitching only, what? It's still 4 cards. Never mind. If he blocks inside out, it'll keep my tribe alive and it'll kill the... Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Good point. Ooh, and a gush. We could just win here. And I guess if we can't, we should Yeah, do your plan. Use one of the inside outs to kill the Augur Bolus. Again, I'm sorry we don't have art for Gush, but there you go. You can look at some art over here. Just pretend we'll put that over top of that. All right, a probe. And now we kind of combo off here, so to speak, and try to go for it. All right, so foil of his own. He does have an island in his hand, a Dispel and the Echoing. Okay. So what we could do is we could go get the thing that allows us to swing through the Augur. I mean, I do like your plan. And I just borrowed the opponent's art. Yes, I did. I think transmuting is fine. Go get the Shadow Rift. Actually, I'm probably still supposed to pitch an island there. Or, no, we have foil. I think pitching the, I think that's fine. So he does have 3 pieces of interaction. He's got Dispel, Decay, and he's also got a foil of his own. So, whereas we have... So we'll do the plan that you were telling me about. I do like that idea. We should probably keep the Ash Barrens because I haven't drawn a single Brainstorm yet. That is a neat little trick. Instant Brainstorm. Okay. He might have an Ash Barrens himself. Removal spell. I mean, we can't keep taking 3 from the Insectile Aberration forever. Ooh, now he might have 4 pieces of interaction. It's pretty crazy to think about, though, right? No, the foil is very good with our what's going on for our opponent. Our best draw would be something like Gush. Preordained's not bad, though. So there's the Gush. We do want that. And a Giga Drowse. So he's only got 1 black source. Oh wait, what am I doing? I could have tried to go for it here. No. The safest way to go for it is to go for the Giga in the end step. Okay, so he's going to go for the Decay here. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. I just discard a card. Huh. So we know about Dispel, we know about Foil. Oh, you know what? I screwed up. I shouldn't have played the other island. Honestly, I think his plan is just keep you lower on cards. Yeah. No, if I punted this, I deserve to lose for sure. Which it looks like I did punt this. Oh, yeah, we have Barons. We have Barons. Good point. Yeah, good point. I mean, technically the foil is worse than just keeping the Barons at this point. I do think that the Gush is going to give us just barely enough cards to get there, right? And maybe I was supposed to play land. Oh, okay. I mean, we're all in, so we're on one. Dispel, foil. Triple counterspell. Can we beat triple counterspell? Can I beat triple counterspell? Well, actually, it doesn't. Yeah, that's a thing. I cannot beat triple counterspell. Well, rip. That's too bad. But I'll just show you guys the wombo here. So what you would do is you pitch everything. Now what's cool about Inside Out is you don't have to pitch the cards first. You can wait to pitch the cards. So already it would be lethal here, Inside Out. But unfortunately we cannot beat triple counterspell. Could add logic and foil, that'd still only be 2. Yes, it would only be 2. Let's get that 1 damage in there. This might be another difficult matchup. I think both the red-blue permissive deck and the black-blue permissive deck are difficult. But we get to try out some of our sideboards. So, Giga Drowse, Game Went Long, Days Can Go, Standard Bears, and I think that's it. I mean, swinging through is important. Like, Apostle's Blessing allows us to swing through and also gives us protection. I think that foil is not where we want to be in this matchup anyway. Honestly, I like the foil for the Counter Wars. Really? Probe's relatively weak. The only reason I think it's decent in the matchup is just the information, but we know we're going to have to play through a buttload of counter magic anyway. A whole butt of counter magic. An entire butt. I'll just cut the probes. They're not very impactful. One whole unit of butt. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. We got 21 of you guys here hanging out, watching, even though I'm playing Pauper. That's cool. It's a fun deck. It's a cool deck. It's an interesting combo. I do think that it benefits from foil more so than most any other deck in the format will. Did we draw well? Debatable. When this deck's drawing hot, it's more like blue source, white source, tribe, go, kill you. That's when the deck's really running hot, and that's like a, you know. It's like a double gush draw even. It's like you play 3 islands, put 2 of them back in your hand, play another island, keep. Let's set this up with a ponder. And we're going to shuffle. We're looking for pieces. There's inside out. What's up, Mike? Oh, this is the fanciest of magic. And it is an awkward deck because you gotta find the duder. You gotta find the tribe. We have to find the tribe, chat. Gotta find the tribe. Hey, we found it. Want to play around days, which we did at the expense of not being able to deploy the Evolving Wilds yet. Honestly, I think I'm fine with redrawing the preordained, but let's bottom the inside out. Right? I'm like, that's the most difficult thing about the deck is finding the tribe, and we found him. We found our tribe. Let's ponder since the top of the deck is fresh, so to speak. So there's the rift. We do want the rift, and I'm interested in a circular. I don't even think we necessarily need the brainstorm. Well, okay, we could take the brainstorm because we have an evolving wilds. That's true. We get both of these, and we put back what? Preordained. We do this in his end step. It is tempting to keep the perfect brainstorm. Just like play it right into a daze. This is the Pauper Brainstorm, by the way. It requires a lot of setup. Either you need an Evolving Wilds, which is a slow land, or you need to find yourself the cycling land, the basic land cycling land. So yes, Brainstorm, very powerful card. Is it that good in Pauper? Not really. It requires a little bit too much setup, in my opinion. Although we're about to do one, so there's that. In before, you know, opponent just dazes it. Alright, so there's the Giga Drowse. I mean, I like our hand. These are all the things that I like. We just need to find a gush, so maybe I do put back the I mean, Giga Drowse is stronger for going for the counter war battle than just actual straight up counter spells are, technically. if you want to get technical. And again, maybe that's a mistake. Brainstorming away cards that are actually reasonable to get a random. But we do need Gush. Oh, Dispel's fine. Ponder. Looking for Gush. I mean, theoretically, the deck can work without Gush, right? In theory. Tribe might be a little soft here. A lot of the removal in Pauper, though, isn't like hard removal, it's soft. And by soft, I mean it's like, you know, your disfigures and your this and that. So the tribe is relatively safe. I might even be willing to risk it, like tap down the black source. Try to go for it next turn. We do need to find land, though. So we don't need the Shadow Rift. We just need the Inside Out to resolve. It's 16, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I mean, we have very much lethal. I do like that it doesn't matter when in the combo that I get to Inside Out. And again, he might have... Oh, I was supposed to play my land. Shoot. Oh, no, I did play my land. Yeah, I already played my land. Isn't it better to Gush in combat? We might just get dazed here. Or foiled. We'll just dump our whole hand. The whole thing. So we're not rebuilding after this. That's the thing about the combo. It's a 25 power creature, my friends. Hooah! A lot of the times you're going to fight in the main phase because of just the way that Gush works. Like, you float the mana, then you Gush. Typically, I mean, I guess you don't have to. That's fair. Gut shot. Oh yeah, gut shot could be a thing. Absolutely, we have some of our own. But yes, that does happen occasionally. Gut shot does happen occasionally to us, which is funny. Unexpected. Let's run it back. I think that was fine. I liked the amount of cantripping that we did. It felt good. I like that the standard Baird like doesn't. That's the thing with the deck is like our mana is very precious while we're going off. especially since like we kind of set ourselves back pretty far with the gushing. So I think I keep this. It's got half. It's got a piece of the combo. It's got a piece of permission. When I say combo, I mean like literally against a deck like my opponent's, we do have to find some number of Shadow Rifts. We did have 2 extra cards there, but foil would have needed a 3rd, right? So at the end there with the math, we just discarded 2 extra cards for the lulls just to attack for a lot more, for no reason. But from that perspective, we wouldn't have had enough cards left to foil and still have lethal. Something to think about. He didn't see the brainstorm. Fine, just preordaining. I think Ponder's fine. Let's go bottom top. It's going to take us some time to get through these Evolving Wilds, but I still think we don't throw away a Ponder. So we need to find the tribe. That's step 1. Ooh, Snuff Out. That's juicy. Snuff Out's pretty cool. That's the if you control a swamp, destroy non-black, target non-black. Okay, so let's wilds go. Yeah, Snuff Out's sweet. Definitely very good for them to have access to that. I mean, sure, it can't kill Gurmag Angler, kills everything else in the format. I think it's a reasonable card. He does want 2 days. It's okay. It's a daze that doesn't screw us over later. Because yeah, we really don't make that many land drops, guys. I gotta tell you. Hate to tell you, we do not make a ton. And we still got a lot of cantrips coming, so it's really okay. So there's the rest of the combo. Yes, yes, no. So let's go. Nope. Yes, yes. No shuffles. Tribe. And again, this is risky, right? Because you might just snuff here and all I got is Dispel. But it's not like I'm going to find more protection than here. But yes, very possible that he goes Island, Snuff, I Dispel, he fights back with something. It's okay, we'll find another tribe. Now we do have we have the rest of the combo rolled up, right? He's got a slow clock too. They're not all that quick to kill us. So let's ponder. We have Evolving Wilds, so if we want some of this, but not the rest. Okay, so here's the Dizzy Spell. Dizzy Spell is a copy of the creature, so hold up. Let's go top. Top. Hold up. Oh, it's not going to let me undo. Oh, that sucks. That's okay. I might even just cantrip this Shadow Rift, but I didn't really want to draw the land. I'm okay drawing the Preordain. I meant to Preordain into the... Snowing where you're at, Kamikaze? Nice. There was like a 70% chance of snow where I'm at. I'm going to be ending the stream soon. I need to get in the habit of preemptively, well, don't worry about it. It's a habit I've never been in when I stream. That it's a habit I've been meaning to gather. Now what we could do is we could Rift to draw the Preordain and then shuffle away the island that we don't really want. Hey, welcome back. That's cold, Nick. That's really cold. It's cold as ice. Oh, did I just tap wrong? I did. Like an idiot. You really want... Gosh. Ooh, Dispel's not bad. Double Inside Out is kind of awkward. What can you do? The old brainstorm in response to the Delver trigger. Yeah, but if anybody has recommendations for after this game, we're going to be turning in for the night. Yeah, can't talk. If anybody has a recommendation for a host, please hit me. I'm looking for one. I see that Magic's live. Conley is live. For those of you that like Conley Woods. What else is going on? Squaw Chief's playing some pod. Caleb's playing Caleb decks. What do you want? I'm trying to go to bed much earlier than I have in the past. Kamikaze is really the reason why. Also, there's a foil in my future. Something to think about. Just looking for Gush. Bottom and top. Hello, baby. Go. Yeah, Squatchy's playing like a pod deck. That's cool. I see him killing somebody with Kikijiki right now. My boy Sheem Teach is playing Blue-Black Emerge Drazi. Oh, I gotta check this out. Now you're speaking my language, Nick. I think that's where we're going. Are they clean? I mean, I'll host somebody that isn't 100% clean, just ideally clean. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Unfortunately, it's Exactsies, right? So what are we gonna do? Well, the problem is I'm not gonna have enough mana to go off next turn. I only have like the full combo. Well, actually, hold up. We just need to cast Inside Out and hold up Dispel. He's a good dude and clean stream. Nice. No, the deck looks sweet. Yeah, he is dead if he can't put another dude in play to block. Yeah, Inside Out Dispel would do it. So maybe we get the game after all. That'd be sweet. Alright, so Island, Inside Out. Gosh, okay, this is kind of bonkers now. Unless I just punted, which is very possible. If he has another Snuff Out, which he does. I was supposed to do that during combat, not, I was not supposed to do a main phase Gush like an idiot. That's okay. I'm not going to play perfect. This might be one of the first times I've ever played the deck. I hate to say it, chat. Yeah, I think he has he has a Snuff Out. So we actually had the win here. if I just thought about, hey, I need to do this during combat. And I mean, like, usually it's correct to wait till those moments, right, chat? Oh, well, we're already at lethal. Oh. Was the snuff out earlier in the game? Am I just that tired? Yes, it was. I'm just that tired, guys. So that means it's definitely the end of the stream. I'm going to host your boy Sheemteed. This looks like a really cool... that looks like a cool deck. I'm going to host this guy. I do like the... what we got there? I don't think I deserved it because I screwed up. Alright, guys. I'm going to host this dude. I'll see you on the next BrewSpy the Magic Guy. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thanks for all the subs and all the support. Really appreciate that. Jade, as always, thanks for those good night wishes. You have some excellent dreams as well. Sheen. MTG. Shay MTG. Give him a nice BrewSpy hello from me. I'll see you guys. I'll see you soon. We'll have day number 6 soon. Actually, this was 6. We'll have day number 7 coming up soon. I'll see you. Laters. Good night.